brands will not be built in a jiffy. Look at the online ecosystem from a short-term perspective. लंबी रेस का घोड़ा आपको पहले mindset से होना पड़ेगा. बाकी तो आपको टाइम लंबी रेस का घोड़ा ही बना देगा.
So welcome everyone. Welcome to the first ever edition of the Quest. I'm Akanksha, the content curator and host for today. And I have with me Mr. Bakar Naqvi, the founder and CEO of Upriver. And I have Mr. Pradip Roy, the co-founder at QuickShift. Thank you so very much, both of you, for being here with us. And I hope we're going to have a good time in the next couple of minutes. So just starting with you, Bakar, tell us about your journey of forming Upriver, of taking the entrepreneurial stride and getting on with it.
So thank you, Akanksha, and Pradipto for calling me over, and congratulations on starting this series. I think it could be good for entrepreneurs and others in the ecosystem. So coming back to your question, I've been into the retail and consumer space for more than 22 years now, and Upriver is my third startup. Being in the consumer and retail space and building many brands in retail organizations, I always wanted to be in this sector because in India, I think the consumer space is a very, very growing space, and hence the choice of the sector. So I did my first startup way back in 2012, which was a fashion, flash fashion website. I did that as a part of the founding team. We started that, and I did that for a few years before we realized that the seller ecosystem will always be very, very hard to crack because there would only be 2 or 3 players who will capture 80, 85%, 90% of the market, which is what you see today. So across category, there are 1 or 2 players. So very quickly realizing that, I moved on. I did something else, which did not take off finally. And then we started Upriver. The genesis of Upriver really was based on the fact that I realized as a part of my consulting journey that there are a whole lot of brands who want to be online and manufacturers who want to launch brands, yet they did not have the wherewithal to understand the online ecosystem because it was very different from the offline ecosystem. The key metrics of how to build a brand in online versus offline are fairly different. And many people from the company DNA perspective also were not able to build a team to do it. So every traditional organization have a certain kind of a mindset, whereas the online ecosystem requires very different mindset and people. So even though they wanted to be big online, they were not able to do it. And that was not just a matter of money and resources, but also a matter of multiple other things. And that's when we thought that the seller ecosystem enablement is a great space to be in. There will be more and more sellers, big and small, and everybody will need some kind of an assistance to be online and sell online. And selling online, earlier, 10 years back, if you got online in terms of listing your products online, getting onto a marketplace, the number of players was so few that marketplaces themselves would push you. Today, Amazon has more than 13 lakh sellers, plus minus. The entire ecosystem has almost 15 to 20 lakh sellers. And this the number of sellers are increasing by the day. We expect by 2025, the number of sellers will be more than 25 lakh in India alone. Even if we take that a certain percentage of these sellers would need assistance, it's a fairly large market. And that's where we thought of being there. We also did being a consultant, a lot of things that we do, it's in our DNA to do a lot of research. So we researched the market and found out that there were 2 kinds of players who were in the seller enablement space. One, there were these traditional advertising companies who, because the entire market was shifting towards from traditional media to online digital media. So there were companies who were the traditional companies were shifting into digital. They understood creative part, they understood the advertising bit, but somewhere they lacked the understanding of new age channels like marketplaces and others. Also, marketplaces are not just creativity driven, they are also tech driven. So they understood the creative part of it, but they didn't understand the tech part of it. On the other side, there were many players, including freelancers, who came from the tech sector. They understood websites, they understood how marketplaces work, but they were very, very tech driven. They didn't understand holistically how a brand is built. And that's exactly where the sweet spot or the white space that we found for Upriver. So Upriver was born at the confluence of creativity, tech, and brand building. Coming from a holistic brand building exercise, we understood that whether it is tech, whether it is creative, whether it is merchandising, whether it is a channel, all of these are parts, but not the whole to build a brand. So collectively, each of these, when put together in the right manner, with the right kind of in the right portions, create a brand. And that's where Upriver is. Upriver works with more than 125 brands today, helping them build a brand online, accelerate sales, and grow their profitability. So that's the genesis of Upriver.
Awesome. That sounds great. So Pradipta, you've known Baka for a really long time. What do you have to say about this entire ecosystem that he's building, and him as an entrepreneur and a person as well?
So my association with Bakar dates back almost about 2 decades, plus I think close to 2 decades or more. Extremely good friend. Probably in the industry that we are in, both of us, we sort of complement each side, right? So in their case, Upriver is the one which actually preempts the purchase side, and all that goes with it, while we manage the back end, which is the post purchase side of it. So I think there many times we actually I felt that if we were together, it would sort of help both our causes. But we have done combined pitches at various setups. We have gone and introduced each other also at various places, because we feel that rather than anybody encroaching on any other territory, it's better that we complement our services, and that's a better method to follow. It's an extremely we've been sharing our views, extremely open kind of a relation that we have with Upriver. So it sort of helps us both understanding which way the industry is shaping up, which way it's going to trend. It is getting far more competitive, so we obviously need to understand the trends which are coming in. So that's the way I think knowing Bakar has also helped us a lot. We've many times we actually discuss what should be the way, the go-to strategies at various places. So that sort of has helped us, I would say.
Right. So just sorry.
I would like to add something here that, see, as I said, I firmly believe that new age companies need to focus on their niche and create collaborations for a larger ecosystem enablement creation. And I think that's where, obviously, Pradipto and I have known each other for years. And that's where we come together, because the services that we offer are part of the same continuum. So our Upriver as a company helps people get more sales or drive sales, whereas once the sale is done, QuickShift helps companies in the fulfillment. So for fulfillment, so essentially, it is a handshake between the two companies that will help sellers sell more in the overall spectrum of things. So I think it's a perfect match between Upriver and QuickShift in that sense.
Right, certainly. So just for our audience, QuickShift is a fulfillment and a supply chain partner to various D2C and enterprise brands. And that's what Pradipto is heading along with Anshul as the founder. Right. So just taking off from this itself, what would you, both of you, in fact, suggest for somebody looking to venture into online business, considering like the last bit was pretty, I wouldn't say harsh, but real. It was the truth which we actually brought out. So what should they consider for somebody who's, just looking to launch in the near future?
So my simple suggestions would be strategy first.
Okay.
Think why you are getting into this space. Do a proper budgeting and analysis of your the resources required. Build them first before jumping into it. Look
Right.
at spaces which are which have a market, but they are relatively unbranded, so to say, or create niche products. If you are going into a Me Too product, then you need to really have very, very deep pockets to be able to be seen more than your competitors, because only then will you sell. Create products which are of real value to the consumer.
Right.
Valuation will follow. It is not the other way around in most cases. Look at products which consumers desire, will use, and marketing will only take you that bit.
Yeah.
You need to have your basic product offer, which is your product, price, quality, set very, very right. And then go have faith in the system. Do not look at the online ecosystem from a short-term perspective. I don't think anybody who's looking at a pure play getting money out of this in the first year is not the game. I mean, then you can be a trader, that you can sell whatever comes your way, make a small profit. If it is not selling, sell something else. But brands will not be built in a jiffy. The brand building time, whether it is online or offline, will still remain the same. Channels differ, but brand building process will remain the same. So give it time, have faith in the system, continue to do better things, and do not kind of get exhausted with experimentation. Do not get exhausted very fast. जैसे प्रदीप्तो ने कहा कि लंबी रेस का घोड़ा आपको पहले माइंडसेट से होना पड़ेगा, बाकी तो आपको टाइम लंबी रेस का घोड़ा ही बना देगा, तो अलग बात है, लेकिन पहले आप माइंडसेट से तो आओ कि हमको ये we are playing this game from a long term perspective. There is no short term or shortcut to success, at least I see today. Except, yeah, and except in cases where you got such a unique product कि वो पहले दिन से लोगों को इतना चाहिए था कि बट कोई भी नहीं दे पा रहा था, आपने दे दिया.
Which is very hard to find anyway.
So just related to that, like there are a lot of unique stuff which are sold in India. Whenever you are driving home and you pass by at the crossing, you will find someone selling you something which is very. It could be from a mosquito racket to a dust bag to everything. These are also so many of these, or during festival times it will be one of those caps or hats or something like that. All unique, but do you really see that a brand will be built on those? So one needs to ask, what product that I am in, does it have something which is a journey which is going to be long? Can I really build something out of it? There are products which are getting sold, but is that product has a timeline, has a longevity? Will it be just a flea market kind of a product, or can you build now there are many products which are coming in, many of these, and when you see the launches which are happening, be it on the FMCG side, be it on food, grocery, those are like, I would say, I mean, I would have seen them more as entities in the flea market. Those are not the ones that you will have regularly in your grocery bill, or regularly you will see them in your grocery purchases. Right now, should I be just launching one of that product, because I'll still have to invest the same effort in marketing that product? I'll have to still go through the supply chain side of it, right? Should we be having something which is far bigger and deeper, more wider, so that I can have something which supports each other, the categories are supporting each other? Those are the kind of questions also which brands will need to ask, or someone who's getting into the segment needs to ask. What is it that I am wanting to do? If it's just something which a new kind of a achar I've got and I want to go, then does it really have that kind of a market space? Or I could buy, it could be just that I introduce to someone and sell it through some other channel also.
Yeah. So Bakar, tell us about Upriver. It's a partner of partners, right? You associate with a whole lot of businesses to service the brands that you have in place. How does that work? Does it get overwhelming? Is it like a lot of collaboration and coordination that is required? I'm sure there is, but how does it work?
So, as our name is, it's a river which is flowing at such a high speed that we flow with it. There's no other way out. Uh, it's overwhelming at times because managing even the ops of a single large scale brand is a difficult thing. We manage 125 plus of those. So, and ops is a daily firefighting thing. Some or the other thing will happen, something will not happen right. And it's bound to happen. You can't, beyond a point, you can't control because there's so many ends that you need to control. So every day is a firefighting thing.
Right.
But fortunately, with the firefighting, we're also able to look at the larger vision and look at where we are going in terms of what our goals are, and are we aligned at all times, moving, even though if it is a small step towards that larger goal. I think that's what we aim to do every day. Yes, it is very overwhelming, and I don't think there's any other way out.
Right. So tell me, as founder and co-founder here, how give us your 2 cents on talent formation in this, entire fast-paced industry, because that seems to be quite a question mark in today's day and age.
So Pradipto is still lucky because he has an infrastructure come manpower play. Ours is very, very manpower dependent. And unfortunately, our biggest hurdle to growth is not money. We have enough to grow on our own, and we also get a lot of requests for people who want to fund us. But our biggest issue is the ability to get the right manpower, and we have tried many sources. What we are kind of aiming to be, it's difficult to find the right kind of people. So the only way out is to train people, and that's a longish process. We hire a lot of people from the best of colleges and train them before we put them on to the client. Under-trained people. We also hire literally from multiple other organizations, but I think talent acquisition and team building is an issue across most industries, and so with us, because lack of this also is, it is because this industry is a fairly new industry. It's not that this is a industry which has been there, so there are a lot of people who have been trained by other sectors and companies. It's a fairly new industry, so there is always a lack of talent. Two, it is growing at a pace that every company wants more talent. So the cost of talent is also something which is becoming higher and higher. And so it's a continuous kind of balancing act of how to hire the best, how to kind of get them at the right kind of a cost that we're able to service our clients at a cost that is conducive to their P&L.
Great. It's been wonderful chatting up with both of you. Thank you so very much for your time. Any parting thoughts, anything you would want to know, ask, please feel free. But thank you again, Bakar, and thank you, Pradipto, for sharing all your insights. It's been wonderful, and I hope to see you again soon.
I think it was always a pleasure to hear Pradipto and his views. So I always learn from him. So thank you so much to both of you.
I think the feeling is mutual, and such interactions obviously help you broaden one's vision. We happen to be coming from a scenario where many of the things that we are doing now were never envisaged or we hadn't thought about it, right? So once we start talking about it and you start interacting with people who have been with you in the past and where they are today, what they are doing today, how is it that we can collaborate and do something better? That is where I think we all learn and we benefit from. So
absolutely. 15 years back, when we were working together, Pradipta, we would have never thought that we would be running.
Yeah, sitting across and chatting like this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
True.
Times take us wherever they do.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you very much for being on the Quest. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Akansha.